Morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to express my grateful thanks to the Academy of Public Administration Moscow, especially to Mrs. Tatiana, who has invited me to join this conference. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm Sartia Yusran, an associate professor from University of Hal Uleu Kendari, Southeast Sulawesi, Indonesia. My talk today is focusing on continuing education program in Indonesia perspective. But a little bit start with the background. We all understand that historically, ASEAN Pacific Program of Indonesian for All, Indonesian for All was launched just a long time ago in 1987 by UNESCO. With the aim of promoting literacy and basic learning skills. The program education for all programs has focusing on three components of area of action. The first component is actually it's a universalization of the primary education, and the second component is eradication of illiteracy, and the third one is a continuous education for development, where the UNESCO has been working very closely with the members of to improve and expand for those primary education and literacy program, and then they expand a vision of education assisted people with some benefit. We are all aware that the first benefit requires survival life skills through preschool education, primary education, and functional literacy program. And secondly is acquired knowledge and skills to improve their quality of life, attitude, habit of lifelong learning through continuing education program. So I'm going to focusing on continuing education program for Indonesia. Is actually focus on continuing education for development. As we all understand that the term of education, continuous education, have substitute in many terms. For example, some countries using lifelong learning, and another country use actually further education, and also the community education. Then Indonesia has used the last term is actually community education for showing or for improving the program of continuing education in Indonesia. Basically, the three continuous educations in Indonesia have been done such a long time, but I will share something very successful in continuing educations for development, which is in 1995, UNESCO Japan has been indicate that one of the countries who success in continuous education is Indonesia, where where the UNESCO's Japan seen that Indonesia has been successful to implement community education. One of the examples that as an indicator for successful in Indonesia, I mean, it refers to the continuous education, is actually for the one of the best practice according to UNESCO's evaluators. We call the Jayagiri Center for Development of Early Childhood Education and Community Education. This center has received UNESCO Japan 2015 award. They recognize the continuing education program implemented in the centers is a real example of how the education aspect it's also concerned with sustainable development issues. This award becomes an attribute to all components of Indonesian society who have been hand in hand to make education build as one of the entrance of environment saving, cultural preservations, and improvement of living standard. So this continuous education is associated with sustainable development aspect, which is over linked to the environment, whereas sustainable development is also cover education aspect. So the program designs in the centers aim to create a new entrepreneur based on excellence and local competitiveness to improve the welfare of community. This program is also aimed to preserving a local culture and maintaining environmental conservation. The applied method describe the real life condition through entrepreneur entry points with the various vocational skills such as handicraft and carving, freshwater fish farming, organic vegetables farming, and other vocational using waste and recyclable material. This program in the centers has led to the emergence of sufficient local economy, cohesive community interaction by maintaining local culture and ensuring education for sustainable development in a real life. So UNESCO say that this center apply an innovative approach to the development of entrepreneurial skills and the fulfillment of the local economic needs, social interaction, and resource utilization based on the pedagogic and sustainable principles. So UNESCO Japan Awards 2015 said it can change people in Indonesia based on this award. So people change mindset and mental and behavior of all components of the nation through the implementation of more comprehensive education that integrated intellectual abilities, spiritual morals, and vocational environmental sound. So to come up with the solution, there is for education for sustainability or sustainable development was established by UNESCO Executive Board at the 195 session, and the frame of frame sustainable development was actually one of the major program. Whereas UNESCO World Conference in 2014 have announced this priority program for sustainable development through continuing educations for development. Now, at that time, the prize, the awarded is actually through winning countries, Indonesia, El Salvador, and Germany. From these examples, that let me close my speech that the continuing education in Indonesia is actually one of the main strategy to increase the quality or the quality of human resources. Thank you very much.